from the University of Charleston School of Pharmacy. I'm Leela.
I am Michael.
I'm Billy.
And I'm Sally.
And we're going to talk to you a little bit today about medication safety, how to properly dispose of medications, and how to properly take your medications. So let's go ahead and get started.
All right.
So some of the things that we want you to learn today are 5 steps to becoming medication smart, common triggers for an asthma attack, ways to control asthma, how to create an asthma action plan. We also want to discuss with you guys some different devices that are used to treat asthma and how to properly use those. We would also like for you guys to know safe ways to dispose of medications and the do's and don'ts of disposing of medications. We also want to discuss with you how to safely dispose of medications with this system that we're going to provide you. So not taking medications the way they're prescribed can put your health and your future at risk. About 1 in 3 people who receive a prescription never get it filled. And not taking your prescriptions correctly costs Americans about $290 billion per year. More than like a third of medication-related hospital admissions are because of poor adherence. Do you all know what adherence means?
No.
So adherence is taking a medicine the way the doctor prescribed it. So 1 in 3 people who go to the hospital because of a medication-related issue are having that issue because they're not taking their medicine the way it was prescribed. Almost 3 out of 4 Americans don't take medication the way it was prescribed. And nearly 45% of the population do take a medicine on a regular basis for a health condition that they have. So here are some ways that you guys can be medication smart. So the first step is, what is the name of your medication and what are you taking it for? That's important to know. We shouldn't just be taking medicines because they're lying around. You should know, what is this and what is it for? The second step is, how long and when do I take this medication? That's an important one too. We want to make sure we take our whole course. If we're on maybe antibiotics for 10 days, you want to take that for 10 days. Number 3, what foods, drinks, and other medicines should I avoid while I'm on this medication? So that can be a really important one. Some medicines we want to drink with, we want to have a meal with. Those are important things to know. So number 4 is, are there any side effects? What are they? And what do I do if they occur? Do you guys know what side effects are?
No. What are side effects?
So a side effect is something that happens due to the medication you're taking that's not what we want it to do. It's just something else that comes along with it. So maybe some medicines might make your mouth dry or something like that, as well as help your health in another way. And then the last thing that we want you guys to know to be medication smart is how to store medications. So you guys remember this guy, right? It's Pill Bottle Pete. He's back again. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about auxiliary labeling. Have you all ever seen a sticker like this on a prescription bottle? Sometimes they give you special instructions about how to take the medicine, like take with food. Sometimes they give you special instructions about things to avoid while you're on the medicine, like don't eat with aspirin, or don't drink grapefruit juice with this medicine. So these are important information to have, and you should always read those if you have a prescription medication.
So I'm going to talk about asthma and what it does to you. First of all, does any of you guys know what asthma is? Well, asthma is that symptoms that happens to you when your lungs become inflamed that it's hard for you to breathe. And it is caused by like inflammation that also triggers it. Like it's just really difficult for anybody to breathe when you have this kind of symptoms. So does anybody knows what triggers asthma?
Running?
Ah, that's good. That's good. That's good. What? Did anybody else?
Allergies?
Oh, nice. But also there are other things too that it triggers asthma. It can cause by smoking, extreme emotions when you're under stress, dust mites, chemicals, and like she said, exercise, and also allergies, and also how do you control your asthma?
I use an inhaler for my asthma.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. But like before you use your inhaler, you have to come up with a plan so that the next time if it happens to you, you know what to do. So these are the steps for controlling your asthma. First of all, you gotta come up with an action plan. You got to come up with a plan on how what you need to do once you start feeling some symptoms of asthma. And also, you have to know what triggers your asthma. For example, some people might be different. You might be exercising, you might be allergies, some people might be stressed. And also, you got to know how to take your prescribed medications for your asthma. All right? You got to know how to take it. That's where my partner just said about adherence. You have to take it as the doctor prescribed. And also, you got to track your asthma and recognize your symptoms. So, for example, like you said, if you're exercising, that might trigger your asthma. You might want to change your type of exercise. Or if you're playing in the yard, you got to watch out for dust or dust mites or any other chemicals that might trigger your asthma. And you got to know what to do when your asthma become worse. Then you got to take your action plan. You gotta stay away from that environment, and also you have to get your medication, and you have to take it as prescribed by your doctor. And also, this is the picture for how to take action plan, which is found by the asthma and allergies guidelines. And you guys can find it online. I'm sure your counselor will be able to um, present that to you by the next time when we're done with this. And also, we have some devices that helps you relieve your asthmas. The first one is inhaler. Does any of you guys know inhaler or see an inhaler before?
I have an inhaler.
I have one too.
You have one too? Oh, do you know how to take it properly?
I think so.
You think so? Okay. First of all, an inhaler is a common device that is used to relieve your asthma. So you have a spacer holding chamber that can be used as a middle dose to make it easier and also increase the amount of air that you take into your lungs. For example, once you have an inhaler, you put it in your mouth and you breathe in tight and you press it immediately and make sure you hold your breath and breathe in. Okay, we have another type. This one is called nebulizer. Have any of you guys seen a nebulizer before and a machine? Okay. Quick question. Does any of you guys watch Batman?
I do.
Oh, do you know Bane?
He's my favorite.
Oh, really? Awesome. So you see that big thing he has on his face?
Yeah.
That's what like a nebulizer does. That's what he does. You put it in your mouth and it's able for you to breathe wow at all the time. And he has a machine that you have to put the nebulizer inside at all times. And that is what the nebulizer does. Okay, so I'm about to bring in my other partner to discuss how to properly use your medication device.
All right. Hey guys, how's everyone doing?
Good.
Here to just give you some tips on how to properly use your inhalers. Okay. So first, you want to begin by removing the mouthpiece and shaking your inhaler. You want to shake so that you can get the correct amount of medication in each puff. All right. So to begin, you want to tilt your head back and place the mouthpiece in your mouth. And as you push the meter down, you want to breathe in slowly for about 3 to 5 seconds. So it should look like this. All right? And then you want to hold that breath in for at least 10 seconds so that the medication can fully fill your lungs. And then you breathe out, okay? And so if you're going to take more than one puff, you want to wait at least a minute before you do a second puff, okay? Does anybody want to repeat back to me how to properly use this?
I will.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
So I'm going to put the inhaler in my mouth, then press the button on the top while I breathe in for 3 seconds. Then I'll hold my breath for 10 seconds.
Yep.
Is that all?
And then you want to breathe out. Make sure that as you breathe in, you want your head tilted back a bit so that your airways are open. And then wait 1 full minute before you do a second puff. All right?
Okay.
I wanna do it. You put your inhaler in your mouth and you tilt your head back, and you push the medication inside your lungs, and you wait for 3 to 5 minutes. I don't know. Can you say that again?
Yeah, sure. So after you shake the medication and place it in your mouth,
Okay.
as you pull the button down, you want to breathe in for 3 to 5 seconds.
Okay.
And then hold for.
Okay.
So, why is medication disposal important? Does anybody know?
Because it's bad for you.
It can be. So medications are necessary and important for treating many diseases and conditions. So while these medications are very useful, when they're no longer needed, we need a safe place to get rid of them. So the disposal of unwanted medications can, if it's properly done, can reduce the harm to yourself and others, and reduce the harm to the environment. Right, so here's a question for you guys. Do you think that pouring your medications in the trash is a safe way of getting rid of them?
Yes.
Yes, for sure.
All right, actually, it is not. And the reason for this, the reason for this is that throwing away your pills, just if they're by themselves, without a sealed container, maybe our pets or maybe your little brothers and sisters might think that it's something that they can eat, and it can really harm them. So you never want to throw away pills in your trash. Okay. All right. So one more question for you. Do you think that flushing pills, liquids, or any type of patches that you guys can see down the toilet is a safe way of disposal?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is not either, guys. So have you guys ever seen Finding Nemo or Finding Dory?
Yes.
Yay!
Okay. So how they say in that movie that all drains lead to the ocean?
Yeah.
So when you guys flush a medication down the toilet, that's going to get into the water supply, and it could potentially harm other people around you that use that same water. Right? So never flush anything down the toilet either.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about how to dispose of these medications. All right, so one of the first options is a medication take-back program. And there's a couple locations you can do this at. You can do this at the police department, health departments, and sometimes pharmacies. But the police department, you can usually take it anytime. I think pharmacies and stuff have certain days you can do that. And I have some of the locations right here. And you can actually get rid of them in your household. But as we know, we can't throw them in the trash alone or flush them down the toilet. So what you can do is you can mix them, but you don't want to crush them or anything. You just want to mix them with dirt or cat litter or coffee grounds. Does anybody here have a cat?
I have a cat.
I do too.
See, there you go. When you change the litter box, you can put the medication in with that. And then you want to put it in a Ziploc bag and then throw it away. And you want to scratch out all your information if you're getting rid of the bottles. You want to get rid of your name, your address, your doctor, anything that can give anybody any indication of who you are. And that's about all on the household. Okay, now we have a cool little device that helps you dispose of 45 pills. It dissolves them, and actually all of y'all get one when y'all get to go home. So cool. Okay, and I'll show y'all how to do it, but I will get a couple volunteers to come up here, and then the rest of y'all gather around and watch. So we'll take these Smarties, and we'll open the pouch, and put 45 in there and fill it halfway full of water, and then we're going to shake it, and then they dissolve, and then you can throw them away that way. So I'm just going to recap on what we've learned today. We've learned about asthma, what it does, how you use it, the action plan, the do's and don'ts of disposing medications, no trash alone, no toilet, and the locations where they can be disposed, and when you use this little device, make sure you're okay with your parents before you put any medication in there, because you don't want to put something important in there. So just double check with your parents.
On behalf of University of Charleston School of Pharmacy, we would like to thank you for you listening. And this is part of Scripture Future and Generation RX, because we are young adults that was once like you guys, that we are here to present to you the importance of medication. And we're here with our white coat. It makes us like Superman and your superheroes. And also, we appreciate your attention and your time. Thank you very much.